Hello.
Listen, on my case on this expensive phone that we use now, we have a little slidey thing, So I keep that closed when I'm not filming.
It's a
So
slidey thing for the lens cover.
what?
Isn't it a lens cover?
Yeah, it covers my camera lens so it doesn't get scratched.
Okay. Where did I just? Oh,
Hello, Chris. How are you today? Chris, I appreciate you're so faithful to so many people, really. It's so good to see you everywhere. Yes, Kirsty from Heart's Humble Homestead. She is the inspiration for tonight. I mean, we've always wanted to do one. I did we blend it with vampires last
yeah,
time?
we couldn't find a whole lot of information on the black-eyed
We
children.
searched harder this time. And when you look up Google AI versions of it, it's just a legend and modern legend, by the way. But I pose to you like stuff like this with the digital age, there is potential there, right?
Most people say it started in, I think it was '96, and I believe it was Abilene. This reporter supposedly had an encounter
Texas.
with a couple of black-eyed children, and he posted about it, and it went viral. Now,
Yes,
Kirsty,
hold it when you're speaking.
just for you, I looked up some UK cases. Now, here's one that is really, really freaky.
Oh, yeah, we got a mic stand.
It is centered around Cannock Chase. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a large wooded nature reserve in Staffordshire, roughly 45 minutes from Birmingham. Okay. Hey, Dean. Anyway, here we go. There were reports of black-eyed child in Cannock Chase.
Child.
Yes, it was a child.
Just a child.
It started in the 1980s, but it exploded in 2010 after a local paranormal investigator named Lee Brickley documented a series of encounters.
Get a little closer to me.
It says they typically describe encountering a young girl with completely black, soulless eyes, and they involve the child crying in the woods or wandering up to passing cars and homes asking for help or to be let inside. Now, it says many locals and paranormal enthusiasts connect the black-eyed child sightings to the tragic Cannock Chase murders of the 1960s, suggesting the spirit belongs to one of the young victims.
No.
Others point to the area's long reputation as a hotbed for the paranormal, which is also associated with UFOs, phantom black dogs, and a local cryptid known as the Pigman.
We had just watched. We were watching King of the Hill today. I'm hoping they're going to do a new season soon. Because after years, they finally released a new season last year, and we watched the one where, Dale's convinced that aliens impregnated his wife, and that's why his son looks different than him. And Marfa, they talked about Marfa, Texas. Famous for UFO lights. I think to this day, I looked it up, and weird things happen in Texas. JC Calamity Jane. I'm mentioning you so you'll get tagged in a post. They'll tell you that I talked about you. I'd like to come down there and go to old Marfa, Texas. Just saying.
Marfa.
Marfa. Marfa. You guys can Google it and look it up.
The Marfa Lights. Hey, Shaz Sylvester's here.
And
Welcome in.
Hello, Shaz. Shazza. Listen, it's my theory that these might be like. Okay, I have two theories. Like semi-alien hybrids, you know, where they get it right but not quite right. Also, listen, Epstein has colored everything here in America, you know, and there's a lot of kids that go missing worldwide. you know. And I don't want to talk about all that, but what they do with the children, it would make sense to me if they kind of, drugged them, right? Seriously, these might be kids that are just so confused and
But
wandering around, and
it's strange that they have the whole one of the leading things in the whole legend is they have to have permission.
they have to
Like
have permission.
like the vampire stories,
Yes, vampires.
demon stories. Demons had to be invited, and
Ouija boards,
there are several. The door has to be open for them.
right.
They have to be invited in. You have to consent, I guess you could say. So I don't see that disconnecting with the whole.
I don't like this story. Oklahoma's way too close to Texas for one thing,
Okay, well, the story that started it all. Okay, evidently there was some going on before this. This is the one that caused the whole thing to go viral. There's a journalist named Brian Bethel, and he was in a partially lit parking lot between 9:30 and 10, and he was filling out a check to pay his cable bill. He was actually right next door to a movie theater, so it wasn't like a deserted neighborhood. Anyway, he was
I am making red beams in the background.
he was all engrossed in filling out the check, so he wasn't paying attention. He heard a knock on his car window. And, well, I lost my place. He looked up. He saw two young boys standing next to his car. One was about 9, the other was about 12, according to him. The eldest had olive complexion with dark brown curly hair, while the youngest ginger-colored hair with pale freckle complexion. They both wore hooded pullovers that partially obscured their eyes. He didn't roll down the window, but he could hear the older boy clearly. "We came here to watch premiere of Mortal Kombat, but we left our money at home. Will you give us a ride home?" He claimed that he knew his fear did not make sense, but it was so strong he couldn't ignore it and pass it off. He hesitated, looking through his window at the boys. And their hoodies were still obscuring part of their face, but they seemed harmless. And he glanced up the marquee to the theater next door, and he realized that Mortal Kombat had already been showing for an hour. So he knew something was wrong. The older boy said, "It won't take long," looking down with his eyes still obscured by the hoodie. "We're just two boys. We won't hurt you. We don't have a gun." The boy's tone was jarring. He sounded like a young boy, but his manner of speaking was odd, and he had an unnatural rhythm. Anyway, he had an almost uncontrollable urge to open the passenger door for the boys to get in. And this seems to be another common theme. People have this almost irresistible urge to go ahead and let them in.
Because it's a child.
Well, it's almost like they say it's like almost a hypnotic thing. Anyway, the first time he got a clear look at their eyes, they were completely black, without pupils, irises, or sclera, the white. Anyway, they're completely black eyes. And it says the terror he felt flooded his entire being, and he muttered some excuse, slammed the car in reverse, and took off. But like I said, that pretty much started it. The viral part of it.
Let me read the chat.
Yeah, you read the chat.
Hello, Chickle. Oh my God. Chicken's Uncle Bob. It's good to see you. Hello, Shay. Shaz. Oh, yes. Listen, Shay, we invented listening and working around here. Hello, Chris. And baseball dude. Hello. I was a softball player myself. I'm a scaredy cat too, Shay. I don't like this story at all. Like I said, Shay, don't answer the door at night.
No, I'll just hit the high points of some of these stories, because I mean they all basically have the same gist.
Yeah, but the different stories is all we got because Google
This-
ain't going to qualify.
There was a
black-eyed
young mother
children.
who got woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning, but she had a new black lab puppy. Now she had a baby, and her puppy started freaking out at 3 o'clock in the morning. It woke her up. Well, she just assumed she'd heard someone in the neighboring apartment. Well, she got close to the door. The puppy started growling, snarling, and freaked out. And when she put her hand on the doorknob, the dog started whimpering. She paused and decided it must be best to look through the peephole, which
We need a peephole.
anyway, the dog started cowering behind her. And when she looked through the peephole, she saw a teenager, about 16, long honey blonde hair that hung down her back
The vampireless stop.
and was cut in blunt bangs, dressed in jeans. She was holding the hand of a 4-year-old girl that looked enough like her to be her little sister. The little girl was clutching a stuffed giraffe under her arm.
Wait a minute. I said Candyman in the Mirror, but also Bloody Mary. That one.
Oh, thank you, Dean. I did like that horseshoe cross. That was my first little.
Thank you. He's already working on another project. He's actually made one and the video is done. And we're going to release it Monday. It's really good, guys. And we found lost bits and pieces to make it. Spoiler alert. It's a metal chicken.
Okay, this woman, when she looked through the peephole, the older girl was staring directly at the peephole, focusing her eyes on the peephole. And she said it was enough that it felt like they were making eye contact. And she said at first glance she looked harmless, but as she looked through the peephole closer, a sense of dread and terror fell over her like a heavy blanket. She had no rational explanation for her fear and no explanation for how the girl seemed to know she was standing there. When she squinted through the peephole to study the older girl, she noticed something very disturbing about her eyes. They were dark black, as if they were all pupil without any white showing at all. The porch light caused them to glisten menacingly through her honey blonde bangs.
Honey blonde.
The older girl said, "We have to use your phone. Our mother is worried." The voice was mature and demanding with a little bit of impatience. And it was loud enough to be heard through the thin wooden apartment door. Well, the woman began to back away from the door and almost tripped over her puppy. And the girl said, "We're not going to hurt you. If we were going to hurt you, we would have done so already. I'll ask again, may we use your phone?" Her tone was much more insistent, almost hostile. And she was wondering how this girl would even know she was on the other side of the door, because she hadn't touched the door. She had just looked through the peephole. Well, here again, all of a sudden, she has this overwhelming urge to open the door. She said it was almost like they were hypnotizing her. It took a great deal of effort not to unlock the door, even though every fiber of her being was screaming danger. It says, with great effort, she turned and ran to her bedroom, her frightened puppy right behind her. She slammed the door, picked up her baby, and turned on all the lights. Clutching her baby to her chest, she could hear the older girl call out to her one more time, and then silence. She said her mind began to race. What if she had let them in? What did they want? Who were they? What were they? Said the next morning there was no sign the girls had ever been there, but the memory remains in her mind, and to this day she's unnerved when she hears someone outside her apartment at night.
Hello, Carmen.
So like I said,
Hello, Nicholas.
That was kind of the gist of all the stories. Now here's one that they actually let the kids in. And it was an older couple. They lived out in the country, kind of isolated. And
where we hope to be one day.
It says they live in a small town off a rural dirt road in the country up north. I don't know, north of where. It was isolated without any street lights, and darkness was almost overwhelming. They never felt afraid until one winter night. It had been snowing for several hours, and the woman wasn't exactly surprised when someone banged on the front door at 2 a.m.
Oh, 2 a.m.
As she peeked out the bedroom window, she assumed someone's car had broken down and their home had been the first sign of life. This happened often enough for it not to be a surprise. So that's why she wasn't surprised. When she peered out from behind the curtains, she noticed the motion detector lights were on, and she could clearly see a pair of footprints coming from the dirt road. The snow on the road showed no indication of car tracks, and she couldn't see a car stopped on the road. However, she could make out two small figures by the front door. Okay, so she woke up her husband, and he got dressed and answered the door with her standing behind him.
Probably a gun.
On Paul and Brenda's front porch stood two young children, a boy and a girl, both about 8 years old. Brenda noticed they were not dressed for winter weather, and normally her first instinct would have been to rush the little ones inside to warm up, but she felt a strong hesitation. Something was just not right about the children. The haircuts were strange and out of fashion. The boy was some sort of outdated bowl cut, and the girl with long hair and short, blunt bangs. Their clothes seemed unfashionable for the time, and they wouldn't make eye contact.
Were they blonde again?
I don't know if it said. If it did, I passed right over it. Anyway, that seems to be another theme, is the kind of outdated fashion, like they came from the past.
They didn't get it
Well,
quite
the
right.
guy, they said it wasn't enough for him to, kick a pair of children out in the cold. So the guy invited them into the house while the woman rushed into the kitchen to make some hot cocoa for them. As she heated the water, she could hear the husband asking the children about their parents. And the girl said, "Our parents will be here soon," almost in a sing-song voice. Said it was unnatural and jarring. And the guy asked, "What happened? Did the car break down?" And all they said was, "Our parents will be here soon." So he said, "Was there an accident?" And she repeated, "Our parents will be here soon." So the wife got really unnerved by the behavior, and because she just kept repeating the same thing. Well, she hurried up and fixed the hot cocoa, and realized their three family cats were nowhere to be seen. And she said this was odd because they usually had to chase their cats away from guests because they were so friendly. Well, one of the cats was named Percival. He stood in the doorway,
First of all,
leading to the living room where the children sat. His dark fur was raised along his spine, and his tail was pointed downward and poofed out twice the normal size. He hissed at the children and began to stiffly walk sideways further back into the kitchen until he was out of their line of sight. Well, she went ahead and carried the cocoa into the living room, and she was wondering about the cat's behavior. And she was taken aback when she noticed her husband was sitting, leaning forward with his head in his hands. His face was contorted in terrible pain. And she asked him what was wrong, and he said, "I'm dizzy, that's all." As she turned to the children, they finally made eye contact. Their eyes were abnormal, just as in the other sightings of black-eyed children. The girl stood up, pulling her brother up with her. "We need to use the bathroom," she stated my phone's cracked, so I'm having trouble, in the same sing-song voice. Okay, well, she was still kneeling beside her husband, and she pointed through the kitchen to the bathroom in the hallway. As they walked away, she looked at her husband's face. She could tell that he too had seen their eyes, and she began to say something to him. His nose began to bleed profusely, though he never had a single nosebleed in his life. So she ran into the kitchen, grabbed some tissues, and the power went out. So they were in complete darkness.
oh my God.
Well,
No.
she felt around the kitchen counter for the tissue box, but sensed movement and realized the children were standing in the doorway of the kitchen. For an instant, headlights from a car pulling into the drive silhouetted them. She saw their shapes standing side by side, holding hands and facing her. She said unspeakable terror gripped her, and she felt imminent danger. The kids said, "Our parents are here." And she and her brother walked past Brenda into the living room and out of the door, leaving it gaping open. A cold breeze blew in as Brenda found her way to Paul, and together they rushed to the front window. They saw the children illuminated by car lights from a sedan idling in a snow-covered driveway. Standing in front of the car were two very tall men dressed in dark suits. As the children approached the men, they opened the back doors of the car. She watched the children and the two men got into the dark sedan and drove away. About 30 minutes before power came back on in the house, just as mysteriously as it had shut off. They never found a reason for the outage. Over the next few months, 3 of the cats went missing. Percival, a cat who had hissed at him, was found dead in a puddle of bloody vomit on the kitchen floor. The vet's only explanations he had died because of hemorrhaging, though he had never showed any signs of illness before. Paul developed regular, intense nosebleeds. The only cause his doctor could find was dry sinuses. Brenda, too, developed nosebleeds, and both suffered dizzy spells for months. Paul was diagnosed with a very aggressive melanoma skin cancer, despite never having spent much time in the sun or a tanning booth. Says the symptoms eventually went away. Paul was able to recover from the skin cancer, and to this day, Brenda is certain everything that happened, the cats, the nosebleed, the dizziness, skin cancer, was all due to letting the kids in. So,
Shay, when we were talking about the clothes being outdated, it was for the black-eyed children. That's something that keeps coming up for the black-eyed children. And animals know, said Hart.
oh yeah, especially cats. I don't know, cats are kind of freaky anyway.
Sorry. So what do y'all think about that? Is it a good time for my song?
Sure.
Yeah. Guitar.
Vampires in Underworld and Vampires in Blade were not outdated. They were very current.
Already
You have any
answered
up to date? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was just my idea to kind of blend this together with vampires because a lot of things they like pick there.
No,
Did you knock it down?
no. My goodness. There it is. Is that it?
It's the only pick I can find right now.
Now, borrow a whole pack. A pack of picks.
This song about black-eyed children. They knock on the door at night 'cause they need permission. Black-eyed children, black-eyed children. So don't open the door at night. They will get you. Black-eyed children, black-eyed children.
I told her she was really weird writing a song about black-eyed kids.
It literally came into my head.
Like hypnotizing. So if black-eyed kid shows up the door, you're answering it. I'm out.
You're answering it.
No, we're not talking about zombies or vampires. It's the black-eyed kids. And nobody really knows what category to put them in because, I mean, the only thing I've found is that if you do let them in, bad stuff happens.
Timer.
It's not like they hurt you. What's the word I'm looking for? They
It's
don't
like they
harm
voodoo
you. They don't harm you, but it's like they curse you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you let them in.
Kirsty, you said you've never seen black-eyed children. Maybe you should go to that forest that we was talking about in UK. Evidently, that one's pretty prevalent. It says it's prevalent enough to be part of UK folklore.
Listen, I've never seen a black-eyed children either. I'm definitely not going to go in search of them. So, Kirsty, one of the verses I wanted to put in there was "Talk to the Lord." Like if they show up.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Right. Let's not see.
Yes, I do believe in Bigfoot. Now, black-eyed kids, I don't know about. Never seen one. They ain't got no personal experience. But Bigfoot, yes, sir.
I feel like you can eliminate black-eyed children by never picking up a hitchhiker or opening your door.
Well,
after
I
dark.
mean, if you notice someone with pitch black eyes, leave them the hell alone. You know what I mean? Hey, dude, what's wrong with your eyes? I don't care what's wrong with your eyes. You ain't normal.
Now, you got to read the story about the one. That's the first story I heard about black-eyed children, was the one where that woman
What?
left her kid in the car and then went in the store. She came out there and there was another kid in the car.
Now I have to find that. I've got it.
Black-eyed children. The singability factor. I mean, I heard it in my head. And like I knew it was a C chord, so I nailed that. I'm proud.
Okay. I'll have to find it. You entertain.
What is this all about? Nicholas, it's black-eyed children. They will come and like ask you for a ride, and you feel sorry for them because they're children. I've heard of them wearing hoodies and stuff.
Well, that guy from Abilene that started the whole thing, he said they had on hoodies.
Yeah, but they have completely black eyes, and I think you don't really notice that at first. They like suck you in, succubus for sure. I really think they're a lot like vampires for sure, and it's a modern legend. Can I bring up the fact that in 2019 there was this sculpture called Momo, okay, and it looked like a weird chicken woman with like black circles around the eyes, and there was this big scandal about how on YouTube Kids, probably gonna get in trouble for even mentioning this because of YouTube. I don't think it was true, but some people were claiming that somebody had like hacked into the videos and stuck that little critter in there, the Momo statue. If you look up MOMO statue art piece, you will see what I'm talking about. I never saw no Pepper Pig stuff, but this really got the conspiracy theorists fired up. You know, it's just stuff like, and that's a modern sort of legend.
Now
Like-
I know I had this with the mother and the.
Well, basically, a mother in Texas, I can't tell you where, pulled up to a gas station, whatever, and she was going to go get gas, and she was going to bring them out a drink or so. And when she got back to the car, there was a child in the car that did not belong to her, and her kid claimed that it was his friend. He had just met him, and he needed a ride. He needed to use the phone. And she was like, "Oh, heck no," and she got him out of the car. That's
wish
all I
could find
remember.
them. I know. I remember. I just.
It's okay. Just use the ones you got.
Oh, I've got
Yeah.
it. Man, I haven't paid you to do this.
Larry, I don't know if Susan talked about this last night in her live. He's on the cusp of needing a new phone here.
It's all busted up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he works on concrete all day, so if he drops his phone, it's messed up.
You get this. The other phone that I had for about 2 years and never even cracked it. Well, one day I was working on our lift that we were using at work, and I had it in my back pocket, and it got squashed, and it busted.
Hello, Mike's Adventure Sparks. Good to see you too, for sure. I hope you're doing well and everything's good in your neck of the woods. Black-eyed children, Mike. Don't answer the door at night.
Anyway, I ended up having to go get a new phone, and within a week, I had dropped it and busted it. Now I've dropped it like 6 or 7 times, and it
Yes.
is spiderweb.
He gets cheap phones from like Walmart or the dollar store even. And because he's so hard on his phones, you know, he rotates them out. And I've got this, my old phone. It's a Motorola. And like, I'm hoping maybe he just wants his own phone, but like he could use that one, right? Excuse him while he finds his place.
Okay. Here's one that's a little different. Okay. Anna was a teenager. Says she was out later than most teenagers in the United States, but she couldn't sleep and found solace walking around her middle class neighborhood.
Bad idea.
So that's what she was doing. Well, she had finally got tired and decided to head home. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. She turned a corner and she noticed a pair of young boys talking to an elderly man. His front porch light was on, and she could clearly see the fear in his eyes as he spoke to the boys. So she got curious, and she slowed down so she could hear him. Well, she heard one of the boys say, "Please let us in." And he seemed to be about 12 years old. Said, "We have to call her mother or she'll be worried." Well,
See?
she thought
Tugs
it
on the
was,
heartstrings.
she thought it was odd that the man wouldn't let him in. Then she realized a chill was creeping over her. There was something off with the boy. He had an unnatural tone for a kid, filled with confidence, like someone much more mature. And even though he said please, it came across as an order or a command. Well, her sense of unease grew, and she seemed hypnotized by the encounter. The elderly man seemed terrified and helpless, but certainly not the kids. Unconsciously, she cleared her throat. As she did, the three turned to look at her. A sense of dread suddenly overwhelmed her, and she wanted to run, but she seemed frozen. The old man took the opportunity to quickly slam his door and shut and turn off the porch light. The boys didn't even look back. They turned and put their full attention on Anna. She knew she should run, and she knew that her father had left the side door unlocked for her in case she needed to get inside in a hurry, but she couldn't seem to move her feet, nor could she take her eyes off the boys. They began to walk toward her with the street light illuminating their faces. She instantly wished she hadn't seen them so clearly. Their eyes were all Anna could look at. They were completely black, emotionless, and silent. She was so distracted to this day she can't remember how they were dressed or what they looked like.
It wasn't important. It was those eyes.
They relentlessly walked toward her. She continued to be rooted to the same spot. The closer they came, the more fear she felt. "We have to use the phone," one of them said, coming within a few feet of her. She said, "I don't have a phone on me." She stumbled a few steps back. Thankfully, she finally seemed to move. Her first instinct was to run home, but she didn't want them knowing where she lived.
Valid.
"Please,
Valid.
Can we come in your house and use the phone? We need to call her mother," the other boy stated. It was like they knew she was thinking about making a run for her house. Fear began to morph into terror, and this dawned on her. She said, "Listen, I don't live anywhere near here. My ride ditched me, and I'm looking for a phone too."
Oh, no.
The first boy said, "Please help us. We need to be let in." So those strange words filled Anna with fear to the bone. She questioned why they needed to be let in. Once again, her mind was racing, trying to figure out a way out of this. She said, "I have some change. I can give you some money for a payphone. If they just need to make a call," and a reason they would take her up on the offer, but they didn't, which scared her even more. "No, forget it," they said, turning away, a wave of relief. She walked away slowly and deliberately in the opposite direction of her home. She purposefully headed 3 or 4 blocks the wrong direction, carefully keeping a lookout for the boys. After she felt certain they weren't following her, she headed home. As she passed the elderly man's house, she saw him standing at his door with the porch light back on, holding a baseball bat.
No!
She kept going, picking up speed until she was almost home. In a final rush, she ran for the side door, practically fell in the house, locked it behind her, made her way to the front window to look outside, and was relieved to see no one in sight. It'd be several months before she would take a late night neighborhood walk again.
Guys.
So see there, it wasn't just they needed to be. It's like they couldn't do anything to her, even standing right in front of her. They needed to be invited somewhere. So it's really weird. Yeah, they do always seem to be in pairs. Now, one of them that I saw, this one was totally different. It's about a truck driver.
Blonde traveling gypsy. Blonde traveling gypsy.
It
You ever see
was-
this? Do not pick up hitchhikers.
It was a grown-up. Says this guy, Harry, was a charming but level-headed truck driver. He was visiting a casino near the truck stop where he'd parked for the night. He struck up a conversation with a pretty Native American woman serving drinks. As the evening wore on, their conversation grew friendlier. After an exchange of names and the like, she told Harry her shift would be over in a few hours, and she'd love to meet him out in the parking lot if he would bring some beer. Delighted at the prospect of spending more time with this enchanting and beautiful young woman, he agreed. After buying a 6-pack, he waited in the parking lot near the front door of the casino. Around the time she was supposed to get off, he headed out to the back of the building to meet her. However, he couldn't find her. People kept coming out, obviously getting off work, but she wasn't among them. He did encounter a much older Hispanic woman in the parking lot who acted as if she knew him, even calling him by his name. He didn't recognize her, but she recalled talking to him earlier in the evening, and they were supposed to meet outside the parking lot. Harry didn't know what to make of the behavior and noticed she wasn't carrying any keys or a purse, which puzzled him. It was as if she was just getting off work, but she hadn't seen her in a casino anywhere. He told her he didn't know her, nor did he want anything to do with her, and she was making him very uncomfortable. He quickly headed back to his truck, trying to shake off the weird fiend. He changed into his sleeping clothes, decided to call it a night with a book he had been waiting to read. It seemed like the much-awaited rendezvous with the Native American woman wasn't going to happen.
Nicholas, we're not looking for proof. It's just a story of something creepy.
And just as he settled in, there was a loud banging on the door of his truck. He described the type of banging you'd hear if someone was trying to wake you up because your truck was on fire. He said he opened the curtains, rolled down the window, only to see the Native American girl he'd been looking for. Something was very wrong with her appearance. She was disheveled, silent, and her movements were rigid, almost robotic. As her eyes met Harry's, he realized they were completely black. It was as if her entire eyeball were made of a shiny black material.
Obsidian.
Startled, he turned on the lights in his truck, certain his eyes were playing tricks on him. Her eyes, which had been the most beautiful shade of brown earlier that night, were still black, and the blackness seemed to extend around her eyes too. He said the blackness seemed to suck out all the light into it. Well,
I just said this kind of does sound like
It was-
Wendigo.
it was scary enough, but that wasn't what upset him. What was most disturbing was the way his hand was reaching for the door handle to let her in, despite the fact he was terrified of her appearance and had no intention of letting her in. It took all of his power not to open the door. No, he choked out weakly. He barely even had the strength to speak. She didn't say a word, nor had she said a word the entire time. She was just standing there. He rushed to get his truck roaring to life, pulled away. When he saw what he saw that night, however, would haunt him for the rest of his life. Not to mention, he studiously avoided that truck stop for the rest of his career.
Listen, Nicholas, we've done stuff about giants and vampires too, and we never have pictures of proof of that, you know. It's all about the story and exploring like the myths of it all. It just so happens this one is more modern aged, you know. And actually a lot of these are found pre-internet, if you will, like pre when everybody had a cell phone. Um, yeah, these are just recounts of something they saw. And I don't know who said, is this a Wendigo type? Like that one, that story reminds me of a Wendigo in that it shape shifted, like it changed the form of like young, old, you know, and then when the old thing didn't work, it went back to the young, which I found funny. Well, I'm scared too, Nicholas. This is all because of Kirsty, Nicholas. She said Black Eyed Children would be good. And like I said, we semi blended this with the vampires and stuff. Because it reminds, you know, the old vampire stories, you had to ask permission, you know, Nosferatu and all that.
Yeah, it's almost like curses. Sorry.
It's all Kirsty's fault, Nicholas.
Anyway, I don't know. They seem almost like what was that one we watched that they were like soul vampires, you know?
Oh, Neil Gaiman has a book called Neverwhere. We had it, and
Hey, they had a series in the UK on it.
yes. Anyway, in Neverwhere, there was a type of creature who, in my opinion, dressed like Stevie Nicks, like had on like the classic taffeta, and they were in different jewel tones and black, you know, and they were just beautiful women, and they would seduce you in, and they would kiss you and like suck your soul out.
We know
The one, the character in the story dealt with was named Lamia or Lamia, and I always said it reminded me of labia.
now. Wait a minute. In that movie, Drag Me to Hell. Remember that one?
Mm.
The demon that she got sicked on her was called a Lamia.
Ah, see, so I'm thinking it's like the same thing in that story. You know,
Hello, millennial.
Danielle's best. She saw a baby lizard, guys. I'm pretty sure they had sex on her property. FYI.
Yeah, like a mix with succubus and energy vampire, I guess.
Yeah. Soul sucker. All right.
You know, oh, you saw him multiple times.
No.
The lizards.
Oh,
No.
multiple or the lizards. Please don't tell me you saw Black Eyed Children.
Anyway, you know, Stephen King Sleepwalkers. Well, I know they were cat people. They sucked
They suck souls.
the soul out.
And then there was the wives' tale about cats
Oh, yes.
sucking babies' breath.
The Grudge.
Ew,
Boy,
the
that
Grudge. And you know, the Grudge, I remember I was in college. I was on the newspaper staff. And this guy who did a lot of our editing and like digital work, he was like, Amanda, come here. And he showed me the premiere of The Grudge. I mean, it scared him. It scared him too. I told him because he really did sort of look like the woman on The Grudge, only had short hair.
Shawnee Grows.
Hello, Shawnee Grows. She does not live in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Probably that's where the Shawnee Indians actually maybe came from.
I don't know. I'm sure.
Or maybe it's her name. I was thinking that too. I'm real Jenny like that, you know.
No.
No. You know what? I'm gonna go stir my beans.
Yeah, the boy in the Grudge did have black eyes, and it was
And that's another thing. They might be like a demon type thing.
they were like unsettled spirits, you know. Yes, we did watch Sinners. Oh my goodness, one of the best vampire movies ever.
It really is.
In my opinion,
Sinners is
I mean,
awesome. And
that was an awesome movie.
you know, the racial stuff in Sinners, you know, the truth about it all. you know.
Watched that movie one time so long ago I don't remember. And I think I was traumatized because I was too young. I don't watch scary movies as an adult at all. I love scary movies.
Yeah, we do. We like scary movies. Like we have the old It.
Yeah. Now I'm partial to werewolf movies and monster movies, with creatures. And we had talked about it before on our werewolf episode. Mentioned it. They said Dean liked this movie. It's called Dog Soldiers.
Can't move this. It's our mic.
I didn't move it, did I?
Did I?
I don't know. You're kind of ditzy. You said it. I didn't.
Listen.
Oh no, but Dean wants to. Oh yes. If you haven't watched Sinners, watch it, Dean.
Sinners is great.
Now I just watched one this week. It was on HBO, and it was called The Mummy. There are so many called The Mummy, and most of them are really terrible.
Was this one with Tom Cruise?
No. I thought it was too when I saw it. It said
I
The
ain't gonna
Mummy.
watch that one.
But it
Brendan
was called-
Fraser nailed The Mummy. Okay,
It was called
that was him, right? Brendan Fraser and the old Mummy.
yes.
Okay.
It was called Lee Cronin's Mummy. And it is a totally different twist on the Mummy story. And it was grotesque. It was disturbing. It was scary. I mean, it had all the ingredients, man. It was terrible. Legend of Boggy Creek,
Misery,
yes.
Stephen King. If you read the book, it's so much scarier. It really is. They tamed it down a lot for the movie. I'm
Dean
telling
says
you.
Dog
I
Soldier is one of his
love
favorites.
Stephen King.
Dog Soldier is one of my favorites too. I love that movie.
Have you ever seen The Legend of Boggy Creek?
Yes, we watched that. Remember?
Where was that at?
It is down in southwestern Arkansas by the Texas border, sort of.
Like Arcoma?
Australian Wolf Creek. Yes.
Ooh!
I've seen that one. That's millennial. I watch cartoons. I love cartoons.
I love cartoons. I love Looney Tunes. But I love South Park.
Smile. Have we seen Smile?
I like old South Park better than I like new South Park, I have to be honest, but I respect what they're doing. Because now they're making trash cartoons with purpose, you know?
What I always liked about South Park, whether you like it or not, is they don't discriminate. They make fun of everybody.
Also,
Everybody's fair game.
there's a... I don't know.
Train of thought, jump track.
But like, there's a time and place for everything, you know. It's called college, says South Park. But like, TV is so based on the time, you know. And South Park has been around since the '90s, and so you have these different snapshots of like,
High Plains Camp.
hello, High Plains. Oh my gosh, High Plains. We've been watching King of the Hill because I'm hoping there's going to be a new season this fall, right? But like today, we saw the one where Dale's dad is gay, right? And he's wanting to break it to his son, and Dale's like in denial. And Dale's son, you know, is really the son of John Redcorn, right? And so he goes into the booth, like the changing room, and puts on a vest, you know, comes out and says, "Look, Dad, I'm John Redcorn." And Dale goes, "I don't see it." I just wanted to point that out to you. You're the reason I'm watching it.
Millennial. I did like Avatar, the animated series. When I was on my very first, when I was on, maybe not my first rig, way back when on the rig, we used to all sit down. We'd get off in the mornings, and all of us roughnecks would sit down and watch Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Wow.
Dexter, my kids loved
Dexter's
Dexter.
Laboratory. I love Dexter's Laboratory.
Since you don't watch scary stuff, I'm assuming you're talking about Dexter's Laboratory and not the serial killer Dexter.
That's a different show altogether. Hello, Jax.
Showing my phone pin? What? Oh. It don't matter.
What?
She saw I was showing my phone pin when I opened my phone. It don't matter.
It might matter.
I have to change it all the damn time.
Listen, we're not tech savvy.
J3.
Listen, you literally cannot steal anything from us. I promise you.
Somebody steal my identity, they'd sue me for defamation. Dean has just binge watched Dexter's Laboratory. You go, Dean.
Ah, Dee Dee is like a combination of both of my girls, by the
And
way.
there's your dance partner.
Hey, Dora. Dora. I love that video you made, Dora.
All your animals are named after Avatar.
Which Avatar? The Mindbender or the is it Mindbender?
Airbender.
Oh.
Not the weird CGI. I mean, it was a good movie, but Avatar: The Last Airbender was this little like kung fu type kid, and
I've seen some of them.
yeah, he had this like arrow tattoo on his head.
Mindbender.
Anyway, we did. It was a whole bunch of roughnecks sitting around waiting to go to bed. We wouldn't go to bed till after we watched Avatar. Steve was just talking about you with Mike and Brandon over on Traveling Whitcomb's live stream.
Oh. Thank you, Steve. Y'all didn't get a chance, Larry made a really cool cross. Let me just go get it. Guys.
Oh yes, Airbender, Avatar, the Airbender was so cool.
Mindbender.
Not the Mindbender. That's disturbing. Now my dog is named after a Teletubby. It started out, I just called her Dinky because she was so little, and Amanda started calling her Tinky Winky.
This is Larry's cross. Yeah,
You
of
look like
course you.
some kind of crusader back there.
Crusader. There could be
Blew your-
only one.
What's up, Brian and Tiffany?
So yeah, this is Larry's
As my horseshoe
horseshoe
project.
cross. It's pretty heavy, but not as heavy as I thought it would be.
You know what? Millennial, whatever you're doing, just take the camera with you. I mean, people love day-to-day lives. I mean,
Also, different perspectives.
Amanda's always griping at me for not filming stuff that I do. I just don't think about it
Yes.
very often.
I'll be right back.
Where are you going? Oh, pause the cause.
You want to tell another story like I tell?
I guess I could, yeah. Millennial, I just want to tell you, we were just talking about this the other day. In fact, yesterday, I think it was. Amanda and I were talking about your video where you dressed to embarrass your kid. It made us laugh like you wouldn't believe. I love it. That was a great video. Anyway, let me get back here. Okay. Here's one about a Marine that had a encounter with the black-eyed children at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
Oh no. There's a lot of stuff that happens there.
His name's Jody. Jody lived on the 3rd floor of the infantry barracks, which is set up like a typical motel with open walkways along the outside of the building and rooms on the inside. Trying to get some rest after a long, hard day, Jody was watching a movie and dozing intermittently. It was the weekend, but he was home because he was too broke to go out. I know that feeling. Half asleep, there was a knock on the doors, so he stumbled across the dark room, expecting to see his roommate at the door, especially since he was notorious for forgetting his keys and arriving quite drunk.
He was always doing that.
When Jody swung the door open, instead seeing his tall olive-skinned roommate, he looked down and saw a pair of children. He immediately thought it odd for two little kids to be standing outside his door on the third floor walkway in the middle of the night. Jody said, as Marines, they have been taught to always listen to that little voice in your head that warns you. It can save your life. That little voice he had learned to trust was, as he put it, screaming at him to close the door. His first instinct was terror, a most unusual reaction to a couple of kids. As he stood there for a moment, trying to make sense of the emotions he was having, he noticed something disconcerting about the children. Their eyes were completely black. So Jody ignored the voice in his head and asked the children what they were doing out at that time of night. They said, "It's really cold out here. We want to come inside and read." Strange request, he thought, and their manner of speaking wasn't quite normal either. The voice in his head kept shouting a warning. His mind struggled with their request, and he wondered where their parents were and why they wanted to come in and read, of all things. He leaned a bit forward to look out in the hallway and didn't see anybody else. He looked once more at the kids, hoping the black eyes would prove to be a trick of the light. They had taken a step toward him and made him very uncomfortable. He then made eye contact with one of them and suddenly felt a pulling sensation as if those dark eyes were drawing him in. He couldn't take his eyes off the children. Jody said it was like their black eyes were drawing him in, almost hypnotizing him, like the old wives' tales about the snakes mesmerizing their prey so it wouldn't escape. A wave of utter terror swept over him as if a predator was eyeing him and he needed to run for cover immediately. Instinctively, he slammed the door, shut and locked it, stood there in his darkened apartment, almost paralyzed with fear, as the children once again began to knock on his door. Thenceforth, the window began to rattle, and Jody stepped back further into the shadows, struggling to regain his composure. After approximately 5 minutes, knocking and rattling seemed to last for an eternity. There was silence. The next day, Jody checked around, and no one in the area saw anything of the children that night. So, that is, you have an inner voice for a reason, okay? Not you, Panda. That inner voice is what keeps you alive, you know.
That was Silly Willy.
That's what she calls Panda when he's doing his goofy stuff. Anyway, there was a Marine that was scared by two kids. So.
Give my guitar. Let me do it again.
Oh, where is it?
Oh, I get it. I put it over here, so I wouldn't have to ask again.
Hey, Mike's Adventure Sparks.
They knock on the door at night, say you need permission. Black-eyed children, black-eyed children. So don't open the door at night. It's black-eyed children, oh, it's black-eyed children. Don't open the door. Hey, I improv that time. It was extra.
Well, let me tell you, if I see adult, kid, anybody like that.
Yes, I can play and sing, Dora. It's just, lately, because I'm YouTube. Listen, I used to write when I was younger and make up songs. But since I've been playing like guitar since I've been playing guitar for like channel, I'm inspired to do songs, but it's more like jingles, and they're always like homestead oriented because it's literally in my life. I can't help it. So yes, I can play and sing, and like I told him, like I don't want to do cover songs every time we go live, so I need to be careful with that. And yes, since I already did cover songs this week, I decided to. Actually, when I was thinking about the Black-Eyed Children, we were talking about it this morning, and we were sending each other email stories, and I told him it was born in my head. Just I heard it, blackout children, and it was the C chord. Y'all have sharpened my songwriting skills, and I
Songs,
really thank you.
songs
Like,
about homesteading.
I
Very
think
different.
that's what YouTube is all about for some people. That community and like the feedback, like it spurs us all to greatness. I just feel, you know,
It just makes me realize what a nut job I really am.
or in that job you're married to. That,
Yeah, she sang at the start of the live.
yeah, I sing
Check
it.
out Hunter Root.
Yeah, I sing it at the start. You know, Dora, some people come in later, you know, and we'll explain the stories again. And yeah, I feel like if I wrote that, like I needed to do it twice. And actually, Dora, you lucked out because this time was better, I feel. I was feeling it, you know?
Practice makes perfect.
Like a children. Okay. And I have to be honest, the way I was saying children in the song is because of Eddie Murphy, right?
The dog just kicked me in the gut. Kenny.
We have went an hour. Do you like Black Eyed Children, Tiffany?
I'm telling you, kid, adult, old man, old woman, I don't care if it's a 3-year-old. You got black eyes? Nah.
Black Eyed Children. Don't open the door at night. Because they need permission, guys.
No, well, evidently, even if the door's open,
Oh,
they
don't
can't
leave
come
your
in.
door open. Yeah, you got to say, you know, you can come in.
They'd come in here and say, "Oh shit." They would think they made a mistake real quick.
My dogs would attack them.
Like I stumbled in an unknown relative. That's so sweet. Thank you.
Sit that.
Millennial.
I really appreciate that. We try, you know, just to be natural. And like it's hard to be natural when you first start doing lives, guys. It really is. I was sitting here with like a board up my back, so rigid, you know. And I realized like it's in the imperfect details, right? My kitchen's not exactly clean. I don't give a crap about that. Let's show the weeds in the garden because right now, when it's today, it was 103 refill. Who wants to pull weeds on this day? Not me. And also, we got the heat on their side, on our side. They're not going to grow as fast now. And this is kind of why we work so hard in the spring and early summer, is so that we can kind of pull it back and get some.
You remind me of Kathleen Turner.
Me?
Well, not me.
I love that Kathleen Turner. Oh man, her and Romancing the Stone and Jewel of the Nile.
V.I. Warshawski.
What was that?
When she was the private detective and that little girl, she got that little girl with her.
And Kathleen Turner's been in a couple of movies recently. I don't think you recognize her. Like, she had some kind of cancer, and she gets the thick neck and all of that of being middle aged too. I am just glad to see her in stuff again because, like, it seems like Hollywood throws away people. Not men, by the way, but women.
The one where she gets caught in Iran.
I don't think I've seen that one.
You know, she was on Dumb and Dumber.
Yes.
Dumb and Dumber.
I don't really like Dumb and Dumber, to be honest.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner is one of my favorite actresses.
Oh, she's great. And I think she started, I don't know if it's a school or if it was just a TV show where she was like teaching young people how to act and stuff like that. Yeah, I like her. Jessica Lange, though. I watch anything Jessica Lange is
Monsoon
in.
rain for a week only comes in the afternoon, but I'm so hopeful. Oh, I hope you do. Well, anyway, I really do.
Rain? Oh, yes. Listen, rain. Is that what she said? Yes. We're supposed to get rain tonight. In fact, part of our chance of rain is already blown by.
Kirsty, you'll love Millennials videos. They're so
yes.
genuine.
Yes.
She's great. I swear, Millennial, we were just talking about you yesterday.
Yeah.
I love this woman. She cracks me up. The cat. Oh.
If she's not a sister of mine, she's like a soul cousin of Millennials, Beth.
He loved Jessica Lange in American Horror Story. That's my
Yes,
favorite.
Horror Story. Naughty Pie.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Let me go show her something.
I think I've showed her that before.
I don't care. I'm gonna show it again. That might be a little dusty.
Everything around here is a little dusty.
You don't wiggle.
Yeah, they do. You just gotta flick them.
Also,
It's been a heck of a day. Playing with my welder.
we found this, Sarah, after we had met you on Miss T with the T and started watching you and stuff.
I think we showed it that way.
I know I showed it already. I wanted in my heart to send this to you, and he wouldn't let me. Just so you know, Sarah.
It says Larry.
Yeah, his name is Larry, and face it, Larry, we're lost. It like pisses me and him trying to figure out stuff.
Huh.
All right. Do you have any more stories?
Oh yeah, there's several stories. I've only got one welding video up. That's the one making the cross.
But
I've got the other one. I've got to put it together, edit it together, and
we're gonna do Premiere Monday. He'll get it edited tomorrow, and we'll do a premiere for Monday.
where I won't even be here.
Yes. Yeah, I already told you. Just get it ready and set it to private, and I'll take care of the premiere part. You know what I mean? He's looking for one more story. I'm gonna have to make you watch the replay on the song though, Sarah. I wrote a Black Eyed Children song. Just Sarah, don't open the door at night, 'cause they need permission. Black Eyed Children. Black Eyed Children.
Oh, here you go. Here's one in Australia.
Oh, Australia. Aha, Nicholas.
Harry was a rough and tumble guy who enjoyed his normal life in Australia and was big enough to take care of himself no matter what came his way, or so he thought. Incident over an escaped kitten opened his world to the black-eyed kids, and he would never view his life quite the same again.
Did the kitten survive?
I do not know. I just started reading this. About 1 o'clock in the morning, when Harry was up late watching a movie on television, he heard a knock on his front door. As he reached the door, he flipped the switch, turned the porch light on, and heard the bulb blow. Frustrated, but not all that concerned, he opened the front door to see who was outside, leaving the screen door in place. As the door opened, he also noticed the street lights up and down his street were out. Now, was something else that was odd.
Oh, no.
As his eyes adjusted to what little light there was, he saw two teenage boys, about 13. One was standing on the porch while the other stood behind him on the walkway. The boy on the porch seemed to be the spokesman for the pair. Harry looked them over. They wore khaki cargo pants with white t-shirts and ball caps. The lead boy seemed to be a bit older and was wearing a green ball cap over a mess of medium-length curly brown hair. "Good day, mate. We were wondering if we could get our little kitten out of your backyard," the older boy asked. Harry was immediately taken aback. Not one in his part of Australia actually used "G'day, mate" as a greeting. Not to mention the kid's accent was off too.
He was suspicious.
Yet that wasn't all that concerned Harry. When he was that age, wandering through a darkened neighborhood and knocking on a stranger's door would have been the last thing he would have been doing. He immediately began to suspect their motive as an uneasiness began to spread over him. I tell you what, boys, let me look in my backyard and I'll bring your kitten to you. He began to step back inside the door when the boy spoke again. No, mate, she's afraid of strangers. We have to do it, replied the older boy. The other boy chimed in. We must insist that we get her, he said. For a moment, Harry began to consider letting them in despite the uneasy feeling and strange vibes he was getting from the pair. He didn't like their tone or their explanation for why they needed to be the ones retrieving the kitten. Plus, the request was more of a command and had an ominous tone to it. How old are you two? Harry asked. It was almost as if something was making him stall for time before he followed his instincts, which told him to close the door. We're 16, mate, the boy replied. Oh, come on. There's no way you two are 16, Harry replied. He saw the boys visibly tense up. Look, mate, we really need to come in and get our kitten. The older boy's voice had taken on a threatening tone, suddenly became very hostile and demanding. Crack. Harry still couldn't bring himself to close the door. Instead, he rebuked the boys for their attitude. Look, kids, you can forget being rude if you want your kitten back. Sorry, mate, the spokesman said. Please, we need to get our kitten back. The younger boy added to his plea. Please let us in. We can't come in unless you let us in. A chill ran up Harry's spine. He grew more and more suspicious. He began to glance over them for a concealed weapon of some sort, though it was very hard to see in the limited light. To his shock, one of the boys said, We don't have any weapons on us. How on earth did he know that was what Harry was thinking? His uneasiness increased, but he still couldn't bring himself to close the door. Does your mother even know you're out this late? He asked, not quite sure why he was still engaging with the boys when everything was screaming danger. Come on, mate, let us in. Our mother will be angry with us if we don't bring the kitten home. Suddenly, the perfect solution came to Harry. Tell you what, boys, give me your mom's phone number and I will call her tomorrow and bring the kitten over if I find it. Just let me get some paper, he said. He turned slightly from the door to reach a pen and paper nearby when he noticed one out of the corner of his eye, the older boy stepped right up to the screen door. Harry turned to face him. This time the boy was close enough for the light from Harry's entryway to reveal the boy's facial features. He had a strange, sadistic grin on his face, and the place of eyes there was only soul-chilling darkness. Get away from my door now, barked Harry as he took a step back so he could close his front door. Before he could get the door closed, though, the older boy leaned slightly forward, almost touching the screen with his nose, and said, We're just kids. Let us in to get our kitten. Harry slammed the door and shouted through it, I'm calling the cops. You don't get off my porch now. He fumbled for his phone and then looked out the window to see if they were still there. His heart was pounding like a jackhammer. The boys were gone from the porch and the walkway, and Harry didn't see them anywhere on the dimly lit street. He quickly ran to make sure they weren't in his backyard, which they weren't, but he had no idea how they could have disappeared so quickly.
Had no idea. They were getting nowhere with him. That's why. It's yes. This is very comfortable, Kirsty. When I was on my Moo quest, I discovered captains. Which, if you want a Moo, like you have to get into the world of captains, because there is a vast array, different styles and everything. So, like, and this is that. And this, I bought this the same time I got that blue and white one. You know, it's the same pattern. It's the same cut. I love this thing. I love it. I need like 5. I will just wear this.
Up until about 5 minutes before the live, I was wearing a wife beater and a bandana on my head.
I bought him a 6-pack of tank tops because it's just hot as heck. And they don't let him stay at the best hotels when he goes to work. So, I mean, I've got a small window unit in my room when I go in there at night, and it's hot in the morning. And he was telling me that he had a hard time sleeping because the sun was on that side and it came in. It was so hot.
Millennial says she got like 50 green onion seeds from 2 plants that went to seed. She suspects about 25 self-seeded. Now I can have second generation green onion. We do that every year.
Are
millennial.
those wild onions? Because I have wild onions that were just in my. Well, they're all over this town, over this part of the state. They're called like Choctaw onions or Cherokee onions. I can't remember which. And
Native.
no, that's not my name for them. Native Americans have like a festival surrounding them, and they're more like shouty, like wild onions. You know, they kind of smell like garlic.
Now, millennial, I don't know if you know this, but you can, when they grow, you can cut the tops off, just the greens, and you'll use the green part.
Yeah.
And they will grow back. And you can
Yes.
have green onions all the time.
Well, until the summer. They go dormant in the summer. Fall is when they emerge, and they grow all winter.
Wish I could go dormant in the summer.
And winter does not damage those wild onions. So yes, there's my little tidbit of foraging facts. 'Cause
Millennial
I
said
am.
She subscribed to Sarah when she saw the brave woman in the bee suit.
Oh yes. That's why I showed this.
I used
Sarah
to be.
has the bees.
I get this. When I was little, I was really allergic to bees. I mean, really allergic. They put me in anaphylactic shock. Now they don't bother me a bit.
You can grow out of a lot of allergies, but you can also develop new allergies as you get older.
Well, that's like
True
a
facts.
guy I used to work with developed an allergy all of a sudden to strawberries. He always loved strawberries, and he ate one at work and broke out and went in anaphylactic shock, and we had to give him an EpiPen.
Wow.
It was Brian Craig. Remember him?
And then sometimes if you're exposed to something that has a lot of
Speaking of EpiPens, have you seen the new version? This is so great. Now, I'm only bringing it up because, all of us are outdoor people. We're always messing around with allergies and stuff like that. And an EpiPen is good to have. I mean, just in case. Now they have one that is an inhaler, kind of like that Narcan thing. It's like a single-use inhaler. And instead of taking a shot, the commercial I saw, this woman said her son has bad allergies and he's always had to carry an EpiPen, but she always worried about him because he's so scared of the needle. She was afraid he wouldn't use it. Well, now he has this inhaler he can use. I thought it was so great. I mean, this is great news, Nobody else seems excited.
Well, I mean, like when they come out with something new, and if you're having like real anaphylactic shock and your throat closes up,
I want
Yeah,
one.
I don't
Was in
know,
that
like-
movie Crank.
What?
Yeah, Sarah's an Epi inhaler. Correct process. Cadbury's chocolate is the worst. Is it? Wow, really? The Cadbury bunny's mean to you, huh?
Wow. Listen, I got some canned salmon.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I got some canned salmon and I made salmon patties. Okay. And they were really good. And they were gluten free. They had like the coconut flour and the almond flour, and there was some tidbits of veggies, and they were so good. Well, I started feeling like my throat was closing up. I don't have any seafood allergies or allergies to fish of any kind. The only thing I'm allergic to is dust mites
And hamsters.
and hamsters. But like I felt like my throat was closing up, and it never got to where I couldn't breathe, but I did not feel awesome at all. So I went to the ER and they tested, I don't know what they did to me, and they just said, like, you're having a reaction. I don't know what they gave me or what they did, but like they said canned salmon has more histamine because it's red. Regular salmon does have histamines in it, but the canned salmon is like concentrated somehow. I don't know how or what. I've never ate canned salmon again in my life. And I'm like, I can eat canned tuna. Like, it's never happened to me with canned tuna. But I'm telling you.
See, I've been wondering about that. Brian said catch fresh salmon. I wonder how that would do you.
Right. No, the canned salmon is what was like more full of it than And I'm not allergic to it. We've eaten salmon since.
All bottled water.
Fresh.
Now, I can agree with you there. We get bottled water at work. I mix my paint with it, and we use it, for drinking on our hot days and stuff. But it does taste different. I mean, there are some that I really like, and some that I can't stand.
Right. And I'm afraid bottled waters are all lies and just recycled like sewer water.
That movie Crank she was talking about, I've seen parts of this. Jason Statham.
I wasn't gonna touch that at
Now
all.
listen, no, he has to keep his heart rate up above a certain level or he dies.
Ah,
And so he has to keep doing all this crazy crap to keep his heart rate up. It's kind of like Sarah said it best. It's kind of like the movie Speed where he couldn't drop below 55. He's the same way, but it was him. It's really cool.
it's a
I like
classic
Jason
movie.
Statham.
Speed 2 wasn't really that great. But Speed
Body
1
runs
was
good in the sun with physical work. I need to quit smoking.
Yes.
Hey, I quit smoking. I never felt better.
Is it fresh salmon from Amazon or is it like dried salmon? I'm wondering. Like where we live so far away from any big towns and stuff like that. We can't really get like food deliveries from anything. I'm just saying.
I didn't even make that connection. Jason Statham is the beekeeper.
Oh, I like Jason Statham. I like
He's
his shark
funny.
movies. What are those called?
Meg,
Also, where's the first place we saw him? Was it in Spy with Melissa
that
McCarthy?
wasn't the first place I saw him.
What was the first place I saw him? When he was trying to like
I saw him in
outspy her.
what was the he was like a special agent dude. Quit smoking every night while I sleep.
Oh yeah. What's the first thing you get? You reach for though when you get up. I know about smoking. Reach
I
for
know
a
I've told
cigarette.
you all the stories before, but when I had my heart incident, I was a heavy smoker. I smoked about 2 packs a day of Roll Your Own. That's how addicted to nicotine I was. Normal cigarettes were not strong enough. I smoked Roll Your Own, and I could roll a cigarette for nobody's business. Anyway,
He can roll other things too.
when I woke up from my surgery, Amanda told him you might want to get him a nicotine patch because he's a heavy smoker. And I said, "No, don't worry about it." I said, "Right now, I'm not even having a craving." I said, "Well, wait. I never had another craving. I swear to God, it was like I never smoked in my life." Anyway, I mean, never. It was like all of a sudden, I just didn't want a cigarette ever again. Millennial Spell says she pokes smart too.
You dang right. In fact, with my kidneys, like I take a couple of edibles on my hard days when you're seeing me outside in the garden and pulling weeds and stuff. My kidneys are messed up. So like I think they're swollen. They're larger than normal. So when I work in the garden and twerk my back and stuff, like it hurts.
Fire Christmas tree.
Take them edibles, man.
Hey, talking about the patches giving you nightmares. My dad got on patches one time, but he kept smoking, and he almost got nicotine overdose. He was such a
He was a real chain smoker, though. His dad.
I see, Chris. I've heard that a lot about depression medication. I can make it worse. I mean, you hear it just kills me when you hear those commercials on TV talking about the side effects. I mean,
I think if
terrible.
you go through something where you have a sort of mental brain injury, right? I think that there are times when you might need anti-anxiety or I don't know though. I don't know. Because like talking to somebody, physical activity, doing something you love, these things can write you too. But I think sometimes maybe there is something in us that it does need a little help. Now, I don't know what the answer to that is, But for real, you know,
Beep. I don't know what that was.
I forgot to reset my damn timer. By the way, I want to point out when I have gotten up to stir, my timer was in within a minute or two or even seconds of going off. So I have innate timing
You can see it in the background. You're lying.
with my timer. It's not.
I can't read it in
It
the
says
background.
000.
Anyway, now see, lately, just like the welding today, I was just telling my boss, I was showing him the stuff I welded, and he was talking about how it was good for me. Hot metal is my stress relief, especially forging. Man, if you get into forging, you have fire, you have steel, you have hammers.
If he keeps doing this enough, I'm going to take the foraging out of my name because I'm beyond the capacity to go do much of that anymore.
I've
And
got
my
stuff in the
girl,
yard.
my girl work. We do have foraging stuff in the, and I think that's key to foraging. You don't have to go out in the woods and find that stuff.
Youngest daughter learning welding. That's awesome.
Sprinkle it home at your house and have it growing for you right outside your door. But like, I want to change the name to foraging. Just remove that A. And I'm not gonna let him start his own
Exactly.
channel.
You have to get your vitamins because if you don't grow your own, everything has had everything leached out of it. I mean, it's so hollow, I guess is the word.
Over fertilized and growing in terrible soil.
A
Is
millennial,
what you
I
buy
don't
at
know
the
if
store, and it's tainted. It makes people sick.
I've seen your videos on foraging and wild foods and stuff like that. I don't know if you watched some of our older videos. I actually transplanted some goosefoot, and I
Because it was
transplant-
growing in like unapproved
Yeah.
places of the yard, you know.
and I gathered these little plants up and moved them to where I wanted them and planted them, and now I have a patch.
Yeah.
And it's right where I want it. Some people call it lamb's quarters or wild spinach,
And it like
but I
it
mean,
kind of defeats the purpose because you have so much more in a concentrated area, the birds will eat it more, and so the seeds get spread like threefold the next year. If you've got room for it, you can eat the seeds like quinoa, just like that amaranth that I posted a video on this last week.
well, I believe that video I did was called Primal Gardening because I mean that is primal gardening. Of these, ancient people found a plant they needed or liked and said, "Well, I don't want to travel all the way over there to get it, so let's just move it over here."
Like the green onions I told y'all about, they grow here wild.
Now we go out and forage. We have foraged. I used to forage morel mushrooms during
Poke
turkey
salad.
season. Poke salad. We found several
Blackberries,
plants. Oh yes, the blackberries.
which we missed this year.
Chris says, "I love chocolate, Sarah. God loves us. That's why He created chocolate."
We cannot forage chocolate, Chris.
Amaranth. You love amaranth. She has some amaranth growing, and it is one of the prettiest plants I've ever seen.
Yes.
I love it.
And you can find it at the store wherever they sell different kind of grains,
I also harvest wildlife.
Yes. And that's foraging.
Yes.
Whether you're getting vegetables or herbs or you're getting meat.
Now I know a lot of you won't agree with killing animals, and I can understand that and I respect your opinion. But I was brought up. I was a straight up hillbilly. There was times that if I didn't kill something, we didn't eat, and that's no joke. But I was taught by my grandfather at a very early age, if you kill it, you eat it. I mean, I won't even swat a bug unless I have to.
And he can take a deer, turkey, or a wild hog from the field into the house and process it himself because he worked at a slaughterhouse.
Harvest a squirrel in my garden. Funny you should mention that.
Yes.
We had squirrels driving us nuts. I have a backyard full of pecan trees and a giant oak tree in my front yard, and squirrels were getting in our attic and driving us nuts.
In the attic.
So, yeah, I got a BB gun and did some population
At
control.
the appropriate times, of course. And this was mainly at the COVID-19 era, where you don't know. Do we
Well,
need
see-
some extra
You see,
meat?
Brian, the original story with my
Living
grandpa,
on unemployment.
with my grandpa and his got to eat what you kill. I got my first Red Ryder BB gun. Woohoo! And I went out in the field and I came back with 6 field darts. They were flying everywhere, and I shot 6 of them. I was good. Well, I brought them back to the house to show Grandpa. And he's like, "Well, that's good, boy. So I'll help you clean them." I was like, "Clean them? What do you mean clean them?" He's like, "You kill it, you're going to eat it." And I said, "Okay." And he told me right then, if you kill it, then you're going to eat it. And I ran a trap line the whole time I was in junior high and high school. So I have eaten just about every animal in Oklahoma at least once.
And had the fur.
Yes, I mean, you can ask her. I can tan furs. It's my grandfather deer hunted, had antlers, and my mom's prove it. Yep, I got a deer head on the wall right over there, and I did not have the deer head mounted. Her grandmother mounted it for me because she was so proud of it because I killed it on her land. Oh yeah, spotlighters. I mean, fair chase is the only way to go. I hunt.
Listen, when we got that deer head he's talking about home from the processing plant, we had like deer steaks and I don't know what all we had. We had burger, and I had the deer head hanging in my dining room of the house we were living in. So at my kitchen table while we were eating the deer meat, I was looking dead in the eyes of that deer head. I was like, oh no, I don't know if I. But it's so good, right? I got over it quick.
And see,
It gave me
nowadays,
pause though.
nowadays
sure.
that it's not essential to hunt. It really helps. It really does. To this day, it really helps. I hunt strictly traditional bow hunting.
Yes, we will eat all the deer meat from our deer that he gets
Yes.
first. We won't buy.
I hunt with a stick and string. Y'all have seen me shoot it on the videos. That is what I hunt with. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a dead shot with a rifle. I'm a dead shot with a shotgun. I used to win competitions with a compound bow.
Larry tagged a huge doe, big old fat doe, at a copse of trees way across my grandma's land where we used to fish. He saw them there. He was sitting on her porch in a porch swing, had his rifle there, had a tag, and said, he hunted and didn't see crap. But he saw them right at sunset, and he's like, "Well, I can't pass off this opportunity." And he went in and took that doe, big old camel doe. How far was that shot?
About 350 yards.
What'd you do it with?
It was a British 303 infield.
Yeah, he's a great shot.
Talking about making a soap with the deer fat. Deer fat is a little different composition. I can see where that might cause a problem. Now, you might do better if you use like the kidney fat or something like that.
Huh.
But yeah, camel doe. Yeah, she looked like Joe Camel. That's why you call her a camel doe.
Oh, camel toe. I thought you said camel toe.
Oh my God.
That lit me up. Thank you.
I see. That's what I'm saying, Tiffany. Those are good skills to have. And like my stick and string, no matter what happens,
You can take down a deer quietly.
You'll have a stick and string.
If you gotta fight people over food someday, like that might be a skill to have. No one will know what you've done. Now listen.
You might run out of bullets, you might run out of guns, you might run out of a lot of things, but you will never run out of sticks and strings.
You can make bows and arrows, by the way.
Whoa.
What happened?
You got nervous. I don't know.
Hey, what's happening?
I don't know. There's something.
We had a computer wig out. Right. If you need to and you're hungry, watch what you'll do. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And I watch that show alone, and I'm very impressed with it. I mean, they do actual stuff, and I know a lot of those things they do, and they do it right, you know. And
The ones that don't do it right don't make it very far on the
in my
show.
opinion, alone is what Survivor
Should
should have been. Okay.
Say it. Say it loud.
But and most of them, when they let them take a bow, it's a stick and string. You know,
Yeah.
I love it. But that is skills. I mean, you're gonna need those eventually.
He also watches Forged in Fire, which is what
Oh yeah,
inspired us to get him his Forge and to slowly build like a
exactly, millennial.
studio.
It's what we should worry about. People will do anything to survive,
They will.
and it will be much easier to take what's yours than to get their own.
Right.
So
And if you gotta listen, we learned in Colorado, chickens make a lot of noise, and that's bear country, right? So it's like a dinner bell. You cannot have a deer, a chicken or a goat or anything like that in Colorado, right? You got to learn the parameters. The noise brings in the bears. If you've got a gun and you need to eat and you need to survive, a gun is just going to call somebody to you who maybe don't have a gun, maybe cannot hunt, and they're going to find you and your food. Hopefully, you have a bullet left. I don't
the
know.
pandemic, we actually kind of stood guard on our chickens.
Yeah. I've heard of people being desperate and stealing chickens, and I've heard of people being desperate and stealing eggs.
Yes, Brian, chickens attract lots of critters.
They do. They're they're like a dinner bell.
In the Colorado mountains in Predator Central with a flock of chickens. We had bears, we had mountain lions, we had foxes, we had raccoons the size of baby bears. I swear, biggest raccoons I've ever seen in my life. And skunks and weasels, and I told Amanda, a rabbit would eat a chicken. I think
chickens they have no defense. Little bitty heads, and
they're the perfect food critter.
Now you don't have goats or a chicken in Colorado without some electricity. I promise you. Be it solar powered. I had a electric fence rated for cow because I was just tired of messing around. And to me, like, I felt bad when I lost a chicken to bears because I knew where I was living. I should have seen that coming, So when you have multiple things like that happen, it's time to just get wise, get it together, And I couldn't stop them from crowing or making chicken noises, so
we never encountered black-eyed children.
No black-eyed children.
Up here in Minnesota, several farms will sell their eggs. Our friend says quite a few times people steal it.
I'm listening. Food is
another time. Remember when eggs went through the roof because of the bird flu?
But also, there's so many people that are working and struggling to buy food. Okay, so I'm not making any judgments on homeless or or whatever. I'm just saying, if we have a hard time buying food, I know
if you come to my door and say, "Hey man, I'm hungry. Do you have any eggs?" I'll give them to you. There's what I do with our excess eggs. There's an old man here in town that he used to run a thrift store, and his thrift store got taken away from him because they sold the building. And now he just does like a handyman work, and I take him all our extra eggs. I'll take him.
He pickles them and all kind of stuff.
I'll take him 10 dozen eggs at a time,
and it makes us feel good. However, I have been thinking of getting a setup to where I could sell them.
Oh, I can still take Frank eggs just because.
Yeah.
Exactly. No reason to steal. No reason. We had some people come up to us last year and said they'd noticed our garden and they had excess harvest and wanted to know if we wanted it. Just out of the blue. And they were gigantic peppers.
They came this spring, and just because they noticed us gardening, by the way, in the front yard, They brought us asparagus roots this spring.
Yes.
I kept quite a few, and then I sent some to Okies Eden because I knew he was trying to start an asparagus plot, and I mean they were
See,
massive,
That's what the world needs to be more like.
alive roots.
So, hey, I've got it. You need some. You know, that's human.
It is lovely.
We've been going for an hour and 40 minutes.
I'm proud of us. I think we brought a good show
We actually
tonight.
said some stuff about black-eyed children.
Give me the black. Okay, let me sing the Black Eyed Children song.
Oh my goodness.
In case somebody missed it, who is here, Black Eyed Children, written by me. What? They knock on the door. Okay. They knock on the door at night. They need permission. Black-eyed children. Black-eyed children. So don't open the door at night. They need permission. Black-eyed children. Black-eyed children. Oh yeah. I'm gonna cut y'all off now.
You know, I find that funny that the black-eyed children have better manners than most kids these days. They don't need
Yes.
permission; they'll just do it anyway. Anyway, good night, guys.
Love y'all. Peace.